I wish Diego was my uncle. I watched Homestay, a found footage movie found for free on Tubi. And Homestay is the story of a couple who decides on their honeymoon to go on vacation to a really nice house. Not a mansion, but one of those ones that may as well be a mansion. It's in a gated community, and they decide to go there for their honeymoon. It said in the opening scroll something about how this is the future and that violence has gone up exponentially because of the internet. And so in this future, people usually rent homes for vacations, which is why they're in a secure place. At least I think that's what the logic here was. The opening scroll makes it a little confusing. The woman, Veronica, while on vacation in this town, in their nice little secure house, begins to see a man following her and begins to have strange incidents happen. And that's as far as I'm going to go if you don't want this spoiled. I will say the plot of this movie is the part that made me love it. I end up recommending this. So if you are interested in Homestay, if even the premise sounds interesting, you might want to click off now because I don't want to spoil the ending for you because it's pretty cool. So, Veronica and her husband end up going off for their honeymoon, right? And when they go out to town after the first night, firstly, there were cameras everywhere in the house. Most of them are hidden. A few of them are shown, but most are hidden. There's even 2 in the bedroom watching them. There's one in the bathroom, too. They're everywhere. And we get to see these perspectives. Part of the movie is through Veronica's phone because she's an influencer. She's a yoga instructor. And so she does yoga instruction and just general vlogs on her YouTube. So we see part of the footage through her, part of the footage through the security cameras, and another part of the footage that comes up later through a character named Diego. And Diego is actually the tattooed man that Veronica notices following them. She gets really freaked out, so they head back to the house. And after they head back, we switch to the view from Diego, from his camera, and he takes a video log and says that he found the next pair, that these 2 are the ones that he found, that he needs to keep an eye on. And we don't hear from Diego for a little while after this. But they have been getting the neighbors coming over, giving them gifts for their stay, which is a little strange because you're on vacation renting an Airbnb, right? People don't usually give you gifts. Unbeknownst to them, and one of the gifts from one of the people is a camera hidden inside one of the dolls. There's these little creepy clown dolls, and it's in their eye. But anyway, she ends up getting her wallet stolen the next time they go out, and the police don't really do much. So Veronica is really freaked out and angry. Gets more freaked out and angry when the back door opens while her husband isn't home, and she doesn't know who did it. So she wants to leave, but he wants to stay because he paid a lot of money for this place. So they say the next day they'll head back. The man following them, like I said, his name is Diego, and he tells Veronica next time she goes out into town when she's really depressed and upset about what happened in the home. He approaches her in her car and tells her that he's a private investigator from, I believe, New York, and he was on the trail of a missing persons, actually. And these missing persons, the last place they were seen is the house that Veronica and her husband are now staying in. He gives her a card with his phone number on it and says he is of the Order of the Second Circle and that if they had any questions, they could call him. So they don't call him, but they do discover the clown bugged when her husband accidentally drops the basket and breaks the doll. So now they know they're being watched everywhere. While this is happening, people wearing black and wearing spooky Halloween masks with weapons are kind of a house while all this is going down in their upstairs bedroom. But so is Diego. He manages to silently take out one of them and gets to the house entrance. And so Veronica and her husband, meanwhile, have discovered the dark web, have discovered the footage of the killings of the other people who have stayed at this house on the dark web. It's a little flimsy, but it works. And so they run downstairs to try to escape, and they end up running into Diego. And this action music cuts on at some point. Normally in a found footage movie, I would say that that's just lazy and bad. And usually it is. But for some reason, this generic action music in this movie, when they cut it in, it worked for me. It made me feel invested in what was going on because there was action on screen. They were actively fighting people. and it just kind of worked. So what ends up happening is they try to escape. They've equipped themselves. Diego has a gun, the others do not. He unfortunately gets killed. Her husband gets killed. They both get killed. She runs to the gate, but the gate is locked and she can't get out, and they get her too. And that's the end of the movie. The thing that really interests me about this movie is I want to know about the lore. I want to know what's going on with the Order of the Second Circle and who these cult-like are. There's clearly some reason they're sacrificing people at this house, but it's left up to the imagination. You don't really get answers. And so a big part of that, the fact that I'm going to recommend this, is because of ifs that are left out there by this story. I want to know more in this universe. I want a Homestay 2 that tells us more lore. Maybe this is just because I'm coming off the Paranormal Farm series, but there's something really enticing about a found footage movie that drops bits of lore in the background. That said, I'm going to give Homestay a 3 out of 5. It isn't an amazing movie, and to be honest, I'm being a little generous with a 3. I think it's closer to a 2.5, but a 3 is, I think, in this case. It is a really fun movie with an interesting world, and I would love to see more by this director. I think for a low-budget found footage movie, this was really well done. But they did a great job. I'm really impressed, and I would love to see more from this.